Yes, Shari. Are you there, Shari? Okay, I need active participation from all of you girls. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, girls, I welcome you in this course, which is post-colonial literature. You know, I'm going to teach you this literature, post-colonial literature for this semester, inshallah. And it's a very interesting course, and I hope you will enjoy it. I have sent you the course outline and a book as well. All of you have received that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Laiba, have you received the book?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. What is the title of the book I have sent you? Have you checked it?
The white man.
Yes, please. I have sent you a book along with the
The
course.
white man.
Can someone please tell me the title of that book?
The white man.
The White Man is a poem which I have sent you today. Before that, I have sent you a book as well. I'm trying to wake you up, girls. I cannot start if you are sleeping. Fine. Hadia? Hadia, I need your response.
The God of Small Things.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good, Laiba. Yes, Hadia.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are there. Fine. Faral? Faral?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Javeria?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Atia?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Nadia? Nadia? Nadia Abdullah? So Nadia is sleeping, yeah? Okay. So girls, do you have any idea about what post-colonialism is? Anyone? Yes, Shari? Fatima?
Yes, ma'am.
Any idea what is post-colonialism? Have you ever heard about the term? Do you have any idea about it?
And the after effects of colonialism.
Very good. Very good. Anyone else?
The era after the colonial period.
Okay, very good. Okay, girls, I have divided today's lecture into three parts, okay? First of all, I'm going to give you a brief introduction about colonialism, post-colonialism, and then imperialism, and then neo-colonialism, okay? Then we will talk about the main writers of post-colonial theory, and then some of the main concept of post-colonial theory. And in the third part, we will also discuss the poem, which is written by Rudyard Kipling, The White Man's Burden. Okay, just to understand the post-colonial theory. So coming to the concept of colonialism, the word colonial, it is a Latin word, and it means practice of subjugation. Okay, it is a practice, a physical practice of subjugation, which means when one nation or a group of people goes to someone's place, someone's land in a region and try to control them or exercise power over them through violence, through dominance, through subjugation. Okay, is it clear? And this happens all physically. Like physically, a group of people or a nation goes to another place, another nation, and power and exercises its power over there, not on only on the people, but on all the resources and influence, political influence and economic influence all type of influences, right? That is what is colonialism. And this practice has been used in the world. If we turn the pages of history, we find that this type of practice was going on in the world, but specifically when we talk about the Europeans, this specifically started somewhere in. Please turn off your microphones. It disturbs me. Everyone. Okay. So if we turn the pages of history, we find that it started in by the Europeans. It started back in 14th century with Columbus. Okay. And then if we talk about specifically, we talk about England as the colonizer, it is in 18th century and in 19th century. Atia Obed, you are disturbing me a lot. Everyone, please put your microphones on mute. Okay, so do you a little understand what is colonialism? Anyone? I need your response, so I move ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you please tell me in a sentence what is colonialism?
Ma'am, it is basically a practice of subjugation, physically a group of people who
Very good.
goes to one region and infuse power on that region. And
Okay.
this basically started in 14th century, and we were talking about the England, which is the main colonial power on
Okay, very
the
good.
subcontinent.
Very good, very good. That is the main idea. Okay, now colonialism is a practice which of course is not a good practice because through this practice, there is suppression and it is most of the time violent. It doesn't serve justice, okay, and it is forceful, right? And specifically when we talk about England in 18th and 19th century, we find that in it was the modern age in England, and after Queen Victoria, and somehow even during the reign period of Queen Victoria in Victorian age as well, England has made many colonies in the world. And if we remember our own history, even Pakistan, this Indian subcontinent was a colony as well of England. Okay. They came here, they subjugated us, and they implemented their forceful law here. Now, the whole thing of colonialism was done very strategically by them because they did not go to a place and attacked it and conquered it. It was not something like a war. Okay. It was done very strategically and very discursively. They used to go to a place like in Indian subcontinent. They came as a company. Do you remember the name of that company? East India Company, right? If you remember a little of your Pakistan history, we come to know that these English people came to Indian subcontinent as a company. Now, it is very much strange that a company can take over a complete country, which is a huge country, which is now divided into three countries, that is Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India. Now, how is it possible that a little small company gets so much power that it subjugates a complete nation? Okay, so this thing is done very tactfully and it is done very much strategically that even today, after so many years of freedom, probably 80 years, we still find ourselves practicing the same very things which the colonizers implemented. Okay, even if you just don't go very far, just look at the roads of Quetta, even the name of Quetta. Okay, what was the original name of Quetta before colonialism? Can someone please tell me? Anyone?
Ma'am, Shalkot?
Yes, so it was changed into Quetta. Okay. Similarly, not only the name of the city, but many roads are named after the colonizers. Like we have Enscombe Road, we have Joint Road. Do you remember any other road which is named after the colonizers, the English names? Anyone? So simply wherever the colonizers have gone, they have changed everything into their own profit. Okay. So like there is a critic, Jamaica Kincaid, and we will read her work that is titled A Small Place. She says in that everywhere they went, they turned in that place into England. So even if when they came here, they turned this place into a mini England for them. Okay. So what was the reason behind this practice, this strategy, that they shown themselves as superior and the natives as inferior? And thinking because native is inferior and we are superior, so we have the responsibility to save, we have the responsibility of a civilizing mission. We have the religious and the moral responsibility to teach these people, okay, to turn them like us because we are superior and they are inferior. So this all thing was not, and they showed it as if it was a noble cause, but we know that it was not a noble cause. In between the lines, if we see that they wanted to snatch the land of the natives from them, and they very successfully have done that. They wanted to take all the resources, like the railway system that we have. Why am I giving you examples of our own region? Because it is more easy to relate. Okay. Now you see in our countries, even in our province, all the railway system, is it done by the Pakistani government? No. If you go to the area of Bolan, okay, the tunnels, you see they are all built by these English people, okay? So apparently they were saying that we are doing good to the natives, okay? Because we are giving them so many things, like we are making the railway system for them. And you know that a good quality of a developed country is that it has good transportation, okay? And that was possible through the railway system at that time. So the main reason behind making this, constructing the railway thing was they wanted to take all the good resources of India or Indian subcontinent to England, okay? The main reason was that they wanted to take the good stuff of this land to their place. Is it clear, girls? Okay. Not only that, and then we can see the education. Education, if you remember the name of Macaulay, who was here in Indian subcontinent, and in 1820 or somewhere like in that time, not sorry, 1920, not 1820, Macaulay called a meeting. And in that meeting, if we read the minutes of that meeting, you know, we find that Macaulay has said, we want an education system in Indian subcontinent. What type of education system? In which we are going to preach our religion. Okay, so they invented the convent system. Okay, and we have their schools in which the complete, like they have taught their system to the natives. And who were the natives? Us, of course. And Macaulay in that meeting also said, now what we will do, that we will also make some Englishmen of them, like from their elite, who are English in their manners, but Indian in their blood. Like we will take some of them, we will choose some of them who will accept each and everything that we practice, our religion, our language, our way of life. And then they will, when we leave this place, they will implement what we are implementing now. Okay, so this all process of colonialism was a brutal thing, which was violating the human rights. And of course, it was through force. This dominance was through force as well. And we know that what happened in 1857 when these English people came, and then later on the Muslims and the Hindus, they realized that this East India Company is not there to profit us, rather it is trying to influence us. It is interfering in our affairs. So the Muslims and the Hindus and the people of the Indian subcontinent, they stood against them, and there was a war of independence. But unfortunately, they lost the war, and then officially the English people, they took over and they were in power in Indian subcontinent till 1947. Okay. अब वो पूरी, it is a complete century, like more than 100 years that they have ruled here. And those 100 years, even after 80 years now, we still have each and everything which was brought up by them, okay? Which was brought by them in our region, and we are still practicing those things. Is it clear, girls? So this is simple. I gave you examples from our region because it is more relatable, but the same thing has happened in the during the same time period that was the modern age in England. England made not only colonies in Asia, Middle East, okay, and then Africa, and even in Latin America as well. So all, like half of the world, they had their colonies just to expand their not only territory but their power as well. Okay, is it clear to you? So everything, every literature, every novel, every poem, every drama, or any piece of literature that is related with the practice of subjugation, suppression, or so-called dominance, self-definition of dominance is included in post-colonial literature. And our main concern is in this courses to discuss post-colonial literature. Okay, so this is something about colonialism. So something now the word post is there with colonialism. So what do you understand with that? Post-colonialism. Now I hope you understood what colonialism is. Now tell me what idea do you get with the word post? Anyone, please? Yes, girls, I don't want you to be sleeping. I want an active participation. Otherwise, I cannot continue with the class.
Ma'am, the after effects of colonialism.
Okay, very good, Laiba. Anyone else from the class?
Ma'am, how colonialism affect the life of people?
Okay, very good.
Ma'am, their influence on us.
Very good. Which is then when we say post-colonial literature, so the effect of colonialism which is recorded through writing, okay? And our main concern is the books, the literature that is produced. Now there are two types of literature, okay? One literature, we call it colonial discourse, okay? Discourse, you know what is discourse? Before going to the idea of colonial discourse and that literature, I just want to know that you have the idea of discourse. Do you know what
Ma'am,
discourse is?
the hidden meaning behind it.
No, not hidden meaning. Discourse simply is any text or talk. Even a talk is a discourse. ठीक है, समझ आ गई है what is discourse? Discourse means any text and talk. And when we say that colonial discourse is the discourse which is said or written by the colonizers. Is it clear? Like, who are the colonizers in this sense? The Europeans, okay? So colonial discourse is that discourse which the colonizers have written or conveyed or said about the natives, about the colonized. And what did they say in that colonial discourse? That we are superior and the native is inferior. When they define themselves as superior, so the other of them is always inferior. Okay, so colonial discourse is that discourse which defines the colonizer as superior, and that defines the native as inferior. Have you done Heart of Darkness, girls, by Joseph
Yes, ma'am.
Conrad? Okay. So if
Yes,
you have
ma'am.
done that, then I can give you good examples from that. Joseph Conrad is a European writer, and he has written this Heart of Darkness in the modern period. Okay, and it was exactly the same period when England was making different colonies. So the Heart of Darkness talks about Congo, and it talks about the African region. Okay, so you remember when Charles Marlowe, he reaches there to Congo and he encounters the Africans. What does he say? What type of Africans were there? How were they? How does he define the Africans? Does he say that they were very much educated? They were very much civilized. They knew everything good. They had good education. Does he portray that kind of picture of the Africans? Anyone, please? What type of picture does he show to the world in Heart of Darkness about the African people?
Ma'am, he showed African people as poor and educated, and they need to civilized.
Very good. So simply, this is the colonial discourse. When the colonizers, through their text or talk, show that the native or the colonized one is uncivilized, needs to be trained, needs to be colonized and civilized, needs to be civilized, needs to be educated. So that is the colonial discourse. When any colonizer shows the other, like the African is the other, one is me, and the one who is not me is the other. Okay, is it clear? Other is a very important concept of colonialism. So the other is inferior. When I say that other is inferior, indirectly I'm saying that I'm superior. Is it clear? So that is the colonial discourse. Okay, and in that colonial discourse, that is the colonial discourse, and in response to that colonial discourse, we have a counter discourse. ठीक है, colonial discourse is that discourse which defines native as inferior, and counter discourse is a discourse which is written by the colonized to say that we are not inferior, to counter the colonial discourse, to tell the colonizers that we are not inferior, that we have our own system of living, we have our own religion, we have our own way of life. What is civilization for you is not civilization for us. Whatever we have, our own language, is also equally important and valuable as your language is, as your education is, as your religion is. Okay, so that is counter discourse. Now tell me, do you understand the idea of colonial discourse and counter discourse? Because these are very main, you can say, aspects of post-colonial study or post-colonial theory. Can someone please tell me that? Is it clear to you so that we move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
Shazmina, can you please tell me what is a counter discourse?
Ma'am, counter discourse is when colonizers say to the colonized, for the colonizers that we are not like you. We have our own ways of living and
Very good.
our own way of education, etc.
Okay. So if
Am I right, ma'am?
जी जी बोलें बेटा, yes,
मैम सही था, थोड़ी
जी
कनेक्शन
जी
का मसला
बिल्कुल
था.
ठीक है. Very good. Excuse me. So if there is a Pakistani work, or if there is an Indian work, or if there is a Latin American work which talks about their own culture, which talk about their own religion, their own language, that is a counter discourse. Okay, so any Pakistani book, any Indian book, any African book, and we have many such books. Okay, and we will read those books in our discourse. We'll study those books as a counter discourse to the empire. And what is empire? The colonizer is empire. Now there is another concept with colonialism, is imperialism. Do you have any idea what imperialism is? Anyone from your class? Sorry. Yes, girls, anyone from your class? Can someone please tell me what is imperialism? No idea? Okay, imperialism is another concept which is very much similar to colonialism, but not like colonial, like it is not, they are totally different ideas, but very much similar. Okay, like colonialism is a physical conquest, okay, or a physical power, like a group of people from a nation go to some other place or region or nation and exercise power. There is colonialism. Imperialism is only the idea. It is not that a group of people goes from one place to the other place to exercise. No, it is only just the idea of colonizing the mind of people. People do not go physically to colonize people. It is not that. People staying at their own, a group of people who show or exercise power and dominance, they control the mind of others, another region, okay, by telling them that you are inferior and we are superior. So this imperialism is very much close to neo-colonialism as well. It is even practiced today. Like we are in today's world, US is the one which is colonizing minds. Okay, we sitting here and US there. Okay, they do exercise dominance over us. The idea of them as powerful is imperialism. Is it clear? So simply colonialism is about physical dominance and imperialism is something about it is also about dominance, but it is the idea of dominance. Is it clear, girls? Which is going on even in today's world, because we are not physically colonized by any European power. But yes, imperialism is still there because, or neo-colonialism is still there because we do have the idea that they are superior and we are inferior as a nation. Okay, is it clear, girls?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now I don't want to confuse you. There are a lot of aspects of post-colonialism. For today, I just wanted to give you a brief idea what post-colonial literature is and what does it discuss. Now, today I have just sent you a poem by Rudyard Kipling, which gives us a complete idea of imperialism and colonialism. How did the Europeans have taken this sacred and religious and moral responsibility themselves, that we have to civilize the native? Okay. Do you think they are justified in taking this responsibility? How can you just declare that this nation is not civilized? And it is a burden on my shoulders to civilize them. We are so sacred, we are so noble that we have to civilize them. Do you think it is justified? Anyone from the class?
No, ma'am, it is not justified
Okay, why is it not justified?
because they are here for their own purpose, not for us.
Okay,
If they are here for ourselves, then they treat themselves they treat ourselves like them, that we are always equal like them, that and try to improve our behaviors, not
okay,
treat as ourselves as inferior.
okay, very good, very good. Anyone else from the class? Don't sleep, girls. Wake up, please. Anyone else from the class? Yes,
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am,
जी जी बेटा
ma'am, it's
बोलो.
not justifiable. Ma'am, because if you want to treat someone, you should be equal with them. You should
Okay.
treat them justifiably. That's
Okay, very good. Anyone else? Yes, girls, anyone else? Others are sleeping? Yes, Nadia Abdullah, please. Faral. Javeria. Yes, Javeria. Only 2 people are up. Okay. Rest of you are all sleeping. Hina Fida,
Yes, ma'am.
please answer my question. Is the whole process of colonialism justifiable? Is it justified?
Ma'am,
Yes?
I think no. Ma'am, I think no
Okay, very
because
good, Rihanna.
yes, ma'am, because they should be give equal rights to everyone, not give some like they are superior, give more profit to them, or they are superior, give them more facilities. I
Very
think give
good.
rights to everyone.
Okay, very good. Now, girls, the time is, we are running out of time for this meeting. Please join me back when it finishes, okay? Please join me back. Okay, now we are going to discuss this poem which is written by Rudyard Kipling, okay? And the title of this poem is The White Man's Burden. He has written it in 1899, and he is invoking the United States, and it is about the Philippine lands, okay? It is when the Philippines was taken, like it was made a colony of the Europeans, okay? And then Rudyard Kipling is saying that how it is a burden for the white man to civilize these barbaric, uncivilized people who are the Filipinos. Okay. Um, even the title itself is dividing the human beings into 2 categories, which is one is superior and the other is inferior. And why is one superior? Because he thinks that he is the most civilized one. Okay, who has just assigned him this duty to civilize them. And then he's saying that it is a burden on the shoulders of white men to civilize them. For God's sake, no one has assigned you this duty to civilize the natives, who in this case of this poem are the Filipinos. Okay, so let's read it. Take up the white man's burden, send forth the best ye breed. Now he's saying that it is a burden for the white man to civilize the natives, the Filipinos,